Hey there, it's Gabriel, PM Runner SaaS, together with Joe today to talk about the 16.5 planning issue. Initially, I want to give you just a quick walkthrough of what Runner SaaS is, as a little reminder. We are the group that hosts runners for GitLab.com. Currently, we have in our portfolio SaaS runners on Linux and GA, GPU-enabled SaaS runners, macOS runners in beta, and also Windows runners in beta. For 16.5, our theme is gonna be macOS GA. It's a carryover. We tried to complete last iteration, but there was a couple of other things that came up. So we didn't quite finish it, but we are very confident that this iteration will reach GA. And then on top, we are planning to do a POC for a runtime environment to support GitLab CI steps, which plays into the component catalog that you might have heard before. Yeah, and I'm gonna hand over to Joe to go through some of the features that are planned and give more context.
Cool. So the first chunk of our features are around wrapping up macOS GA. We were hoping to finish it all in 16.04, but there were a few things that took a little longer and some other little cleanup items we want to do. Just a little bit of monitoring, logging. Those actually are in flight, but they just haven't landed yet. We want to make sure the health status is there. These are all the little fine details that come along with a GA service. Making sure like the things that can go wrong, we have run books for, because once we're in GA, we want the SRE team to be able to respond quickly to any kind of issue and get it resolved. That's what GA means for us. So yeah, just putting on the polish and we should be able to launch at the end of the iteration. I don't see anything in the way. As far as new features go, I mean, besides GA, we've been working on, yeah, as Gabriel said, supporting CI steps. And for us, that means figuring out a way to make runners run jobs that are composable out of individual pieces that can be reused and shared through the catalog. A big part of that is figuring out how that works in Runner, because Runner right now is pretty tightly coupled and built around shell scripting. I've spent some time over the last month figuring that out, and I just wrote up an update to the Step Runner blueprint, which is out there. There's a blueprint merged already called Step Runner, which describes like the goals. And I just put out an MR yesterday with the implementation details and a demo video of some code, just showing the structure and how we're going to pull in components into the job and how you can compose them. So the task here in this iteration is to turn this into a proof of concept, get it to do like the fully fledged thing, get it working so it actually like is something we can roll out iteratively. And we plan to sort of roll this out all the way to production in very small slices to sort of prove it along the way. So hopefully at the end of this iteration, we have something that works and is useful. But you know, the whole full-fledged thing will come a little further down the road. Yeah, the second sort of our P2 category is supporting dedicated runners. This is about allowing you, the customer, to take advantage of how we know how to run our fleet of runners. So we have in SaaS, we have a lot of experience deploying runners, keeping them operational, updating them, all the second day stuff that comes along with having a runner. And scalability, etc. A lot of this is captured in our Terraform templates, but it's tightly coupled to the like internal way that we've sort of set it up. So what we're doing is we're creating a curated set of Terraform templates. We're calling it GRIT, the GitLab Runner Infrastructure Toolkit. Hopefully something that'll stick in your mind. And one of the first things that we're going to do is we're going to build out some of these templates for dedicated runners so that the team that's building dedicated, they can just use our Terraform templates, which will include all of the production best practices that we know about. That's one piece of it. So we're getting started on that. This is not the whole thing. This is just everything below fleeting. So this is just like the capacity. We haven't done the runner yet. The other half of that is we're going to start dogfooding that same system on Linux as well. So we already do this with Mac. Mac runs on this new autoscaler, Docker autoscaler and instance. They are the same system. But we're going to move our much larger Linux fleet to this. And eventually we're going to also dogfood the same grit templates that we use for dedicated, and also the ones that in self-hosted can use to deploy their own runners. So ultimately what we're looking for is to be able to take all of that knowledge that we know, everything, all of our experience running fleets at scale, capture it in code, infrastructure as code, dogfood it, provide it as a service and dedicated, and allow you to run it too. So those are actually some pretty big and interesting initiatives, and we're really starting to get going on them this iteration. So I'm excited to see what happens. We have a few maintenance issues, a few bugs listed below. You can probably read about them yourself if you're interested.
Yeah, I'm super excited with this iteration. Finally getting macOS to GA is going to be super exciting, as we've seen a lot of requests and usage on these runners. Of course, supporting CI steps is going to be a huge change of the possibilities of GitLab CI eventually, but then also supporting dedicated runners and our grid template is something that we eventually might also publish to the larger community. So if you locally host runners, that should make it a lot easier to kind of get going. And for the first time, this also opens up possibilities that folks can contribute back to runner SaaS, which is something I'm super excited about, and so far hasn't been possible because our current infrastructure wasn't published. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much, and it's going to be an exciting iteration. See you next time. Bye.